So this is our first video of many. I'm sure we're going to try and do a vlog. I don't know if it's going to be a daily vlog or, 3 to 4 times a week. We've watched several videos over the last 10 to 12 months. We followed a few hikers, watched some of the things they did, watched some of the gear they used, watched a lot of gear review videos on YouTube. So this is the first of many. The channel is Mountain Lake Life. Also has an Instagram of the same name, Mountain Lake Life, all one word. We plan on doing several shakedown hikes. I think we're going to hike in North Carolina because you can camp there. We live pretty close to the Smoky Mountains, 2.5 hours away. North Carolina is a little more than that, maybe less than 3 hours for sure. We have family in Georgia, North Georgia, so that's not out of the equation either. We definitely want to try some colder weather shakedown hikes. Not so much worried about hiking in the summer as hiking in the colder weather. So like I mentioned before, we're going to be doing a flip-flop. Most flip-flopper season, I believe, starts middle of April. We're going to be starting March 1st. We're going to be starting at the Mason-Dixon line, which is Maryland, Pennsylvania, and hiking Sobo. So our thoughts are we'll be hiking towards warmer weather. We have a wedding in late May that we want to attend where we live, and we would love to get the southern trek done March, April, May. Like I said, we have family in North Georgia, so our plan is to leave here around February 25th or 6th. Drive down to Amicalola, pick up our tags. We registered our hike back in February of this year. Pick up our tags, spend the night at my sister's. Drive down to Atlanta, hop on a train, go to DC, hop on a commuter train that goes somewhere around maybe Cascade, I'm thinking. Or maybe take a shuttle, I don't know. I haven't really got that far yet. I did some planning on the Far Out app, backtracking down from the Mason-Dixon line to Harper's Ferry. I know my wife wants to spend at least a $0 in Harper's Ferry, if not 2. But we kind of picked this trek because, number one, Maryland's kind of short. I believe it's 47, 48 miles long. I think it's pretty flat, which hopefully will kind of give us a little intro. I think our first real test will be the Shenies. Hopefully, I don't know, mid-March, mid to late March. I'm sure that's going to be cold and snowy and what have you. And then we're just going to, hopefully we don't have to feel like we're on a timeline. I mean, we're not on a timeline. If we don't make the southern leg, we'll just, wherever we are, we'll pull off and go to the wedding and come back. If we don't make it all the way down to Georgia by the time of the wedding, maybe we'll flip-flop back up to Pennsylvania, go north, and then come back and do whatever we have left in either North Carolina or Georgia in the fall, which is still pretty hot. But anyway, that's where we're at. So for footwear, I think we're going to be starting out the trail with boots. These are Oslo boots. I've had 3 pairs of these in the last 8 years. Obviously, that's an old pair. That's a new pair. They need to be cleaned up. I'm breaking them in. My wife is wearing these oboes. She's been wearing these for a number of years and she likes them. I would suspect at some point as the weather warms up, we'll switch to trail runners, but I feel comfortable in boots. I've been wearing boots for 30 years. I do landscaping and roll my ankles numerous times on a weekly basis, and when I'm in boots, I feel comfortable. I'm not so sure about trail runners, but for now, we're going to be starting out with boots. Certainly, we'll change up as we need. We have is our packs. Originally, I bought the Aether 65, and after doing some research, I found this Exos 58, which is about 2.5 pounds lighter. So I went with this bag. It's a little smaller, but I think it'll do well. My wife got, I guess, the women's version of the same thing, the Asia 58, whatever. Same kind of bag. We like the frame. We like the ventilation in the back. They seem to be nice. For clothes, we got a merino wool base layer. I've yet to get long underwear. We bought these Piranha pants, Niji socks, and Niji, and Darn Tough socks. So the question I have is, are the alpaca socks better than the Darn Tough socks? I don't know. I think I'm going to look into them more. My wife has Yaniji socks and Jinji, whatever they're called. A merino wool base layer and shirt, and these REI drawstring pants. These drawstrings I also have too, because I am not wearing a belt. So been doing a lot of research on rain gear, and I think this Patagonia Torrent shell is the best that I've seen. And then, so we bought that for her, and this Rab downpour for me. I think they're both going to be very good jackets. As far as Puffys, we just bought her this Mountain Hardwear hooded blue puffy, and I bought this Patagonia last fall, I guess, on sale at REI. I think it was half off. I think we got this one on sale too. These are some of the smaller items. First thing is this tripod. I just bought this off of Amazon. It's all Alonzi. This tripod looks pretty good. It's pretty light, and it was under 20 bucks. I think it's pretty, we'll see how it handles. It's also obviously a selfie stick, so I'm sure it'll get a lot of wear and tear. We both bought one of these Z-Pack pillows. I don't know if it's going to work out, but that's what we have for now. We'll try it. We may end up stuffing our clothes in some sort of a sack and using that as a pillow. Obviously, we bought a trowel for our stuff in the woods. We only brought one. I think that was maybe a mistake, but she seems to think that it'll be all right. I don't know. We found these little light load disposable, semi-disposable towelette things. They're pretty light. We're gonna try them out. This X-Pad inflator also has a light, and it is rechargeable. We both bought these Sea to Summit reactor liners. Hers is a little bit warmer, mine's a little bit silkier. She tends to sleep colder than I do. More of that in a little while. We bought some of this Camp Sud soap. I don't know why, but we're going to try it out. I hear a lot of people that just say embrace the stink, which I'm sure we'll be doing anyway. But we got a mosquito netting. Probably need to pick up another one. I'm sure we won't need it till May or June after we do our flip-flop, but we bought one anyway. We bought some of these Aqua Tabs as a backup, just to have, just in case. We both have the Sawyer Squeeze. Not sure if we need all this stuff in here. Maybe just a syringe. We're not going to use these bags. We'll get to that in a minute. My wife wanted a Swiss Army knife, or an Army Swiss knife as she calls it. I thought it was cute. I don't think we need one, but we bought it anyway. We bought this Tokes. I think it's a 900 milliliter cook pot with this lovely beanie it comes with. We'll put our fuel canister in there. I have this old Primus. After looking at this and looking at the new ones, I'm sure we're going to buy a new one because this thing is old and it's pretty heavy. It works good. We're going to try it out this week. We're doing a shakedown hike, but I'm sure in the future we'll be buying another one. So the question of the day is, my wife doesn't seem to think that we need 2 stoves and 2 cookwares. I think we do. What do you think? If you'll reply in the comment section, I'd appreciate it. I have a sneaky suspicion that when we get done hiking, I'm going to want to eat. She says she can wait. I don't know. I'd like some input if you all have an opinion on that. We got 2 of these Anchor 3-port 65-watt chargers, one for each of us. We're both going to have our phones on the trail. I would suspect that we're both going to, we both have these Nightcore headlamps. They're going to need charging. We both have these Nightcore NB10000 energy bricks. Those are going to need charging. Our phones are going to need charging. I've seen a lot of videos where people have these in hostels or hotels, and I think having the 3 ports on them, hopefully they're the quick charge kind. They're brand new. We just bought them. They're a little heavy, but it is what it is. We both have these titanium spoons. I think mine is too small. I know I'm not going to be happy with this spoon. So if anybody knows of a titanium spoon that's larger, I kind of like to shovel it in, and I'm in search of a larger spoon. So if anybody knows of a larger, lightweight titanium, doesn't have to be titanium. I've seen maybe some plastic ones that may work, but it's kind of where we're at there. This is an old Stanley pot that I bought 8 years ago. It's kind of heavy. It's not bad. We may just bring it as a backup instead of buying one, but at this point, another $35 isn't going to break us. So we both have the Sawyer Squeeze. We both have one of these CNOC 2-liter water holders, water bladders, I guess, for filling and then transferring with the Sawyer into our smart water bottles. I really like those CNOCs. I've watched a lot of videos on people that have them. I've noticed from being out on the trail sometimes that the water mouth is very nice and faster. And so we bought them. Hers is purple, mine's green. We bought this Bear Vault BV 500, the biggest one they have. I'm not sure it's going to be big enough for both of our food. I think it might be good enough for my food, but I'm not sure. So we may end up buying another one, a smaller one for her stuff. I don't know. Maybe somebody has some experience with that and can comment. Obviously, we have a tank for the stove, and that's about it. So we've started buying food. I'm obviously looking at a lot of these peak foods. My wife doesn't eat nearly as much food as I do, so we're experimenting, trying some of these different ones. I don't know. I want to try and eat decent on the trail, if that's possible. I don't know if that's possible. I mean, I have hiker hunger all the time, so some of these newer game peaks look really good. Anyway, we're just trying different companies, and obviously the peaks are expensive. Mountain House not so expensive. These backpack pantries aren't bad. So we're just kind of experimenting. Also, one thing that I'd like some input on is bars, snack bars, protein bars. Obviously, I don't want one that's all sugar, but I don't want a $5 bar either. I'm thinking of some of these keto bricks as a supplement. I don't know. So this is our tent that we decided on after looking at several tents, watching several videos over the last, 10 months or so. We settled on this Z-Pax triplex. It's really the best option for 2 people. We looked at the duplex, we looked at the Unbound by Hyperlite, and although it appears kind of small to me for what it costs, I think we need to pull those 2 cords out laying on the ground. And we saw a video by a guy named Mountains Calling Me who had some really great upgrades or hacks for this tent. And one of them was to buy some of these trekking pole cups underneath here. We bought a couple of those so we could put another 2 trekking poles on the outside of the tent or the side of the tent to expand the floor or the foot area and the head area. We also bought some of these new clips that we could hook on the D-rings at the entrances, these right here. So these have the magnetic holders, which are super nice. This is the zipper tent. They also make one that's not a zipper tent. But we're hoping we can use that clip, pull this out, and pick up a lot of space under here for maybe our pack. We might need a... We also have the Tyvek liner that goes under the footprint of the tent. This tent has really good reviews for staying dry on the inside. Does pretty good in wind. I hear it's not so great in the snow, but I'm sure we'll find out at some point. Inside the tent, we both have these Nemo Tensor all-season pads. She's got a regular wide pad. I have a tall wide pad. Her pad is, I believe, has an R value of around 7, maybe as high as 7.4. She's a colder sleeper than I am. My R value is 5.4 on the regular or the tall wide. I went with a Cumulus Panium 600 bag. It's an all down bag. It weighs right around a pound. It's pretty light. It's got a really good down fluff factor, whatever that's called. Her bag is the REI Magma. It's a 15-degree bag, also down. Again, she sleeps quite a bit colder than I do, so that's why we decided to go with that. This Cumulus Panium bag is a 21-degree bag. We both have the liners to go in. Hers is a little warmer liner. Mine's a little lighter. I'm thinking come summertime, I'm just going to be sleeping in a liner because it's been pretty hot this year. But anyway, it's got these storage things on the doors, which I'm not super crazy about. It used to be over there on the sides. That seems like a smarter idea. There's also a room up top to run like a ridge line to hang clothes and stuff. The zippers are really good and easy to get this maximum airflow. Anyway, overall, I think this tent is going to be a good fit for us. There's not a lot of choices out there for sleeping 2 people in an ultralight setup, so I'm hoping this one is going to work for us. We ordered some extra cordage just so we can extend. These corners are kind of short. And then I think we ordered a couple patches just in case, just to have them. Probably go in our first aid kit that we're going to be building ourselves. You know, a couple bandages, some of that flex tape that everybody uses, some Advil, maybe some stomach stuff just in case. One of my big fears is this norovirus, which is one of the reasons why we're doing a flip-flop to begin with. That's one of the reasons. We don't really want to be in the pack. And the other reason is we have a wedding to go to down here in Tennessee where we live, and we want to be closer to home when we get off trail. Hopefully we'll time that right, and we won't be off trail for very long. Then we'll flip, and hopefully we can get the southern leg done in 3 months. I think we can. It's 1,068.45 miles in 3 months. I think that's pretty doable. Then we'll flip-flop back up to Pennsylvania, probably via a train out of Atlanta, and go north. And hopefully we'll not run into the pack, but we probably will. So that's it in a nutshell. Hope you enjoy this video. If you find this content interesting and want to follow along, please feel free to like it and subscribe. So when we were looking for our tent, we were really looking to utilize trekking poles, which we're going to be carrying anyway. So that really played a major role in deciding on the tent that we picked, the Triplex by Z-Packs. It's a trekking pole tent, so it's supported by the trekking poles on each side and then guide out with various cordage around the tent. My wife has these Lecky poles with the cork handles. They're adjustable. She's had them for a number of years. She's really far more of a hiker than I am. She's been doing it for a long time. I wouldn't say she's been, we're by no means backpacker aficionados. This is our first real big run at anything like this. I've never even contemplated taking 6 months off of work in my lifetime. My poles are these Black Diamond adjustable poles with these seem a little large and cumbersome. I've hiked with them a couple times. They seem to be alright. We'll see. I mean, they look good in the tent. I don't know how they do on the trail. One thing I would like to know, though, for sure, is these ends here. I see this carbide tip. I'm sure that thing's not going to last for very long. I have these rubber tips for them. I haven't put them on yet. Is that kind of the rule of thumb with the rubber tips? I don't know. Hers has rubber tips. But anyway, so the fact that we wanted a tent that used trekking poles as opposed to carrying poles definitely played in our decision to buy the tent that we did. We definitely did an upgrade on the stakes. We bought these titanium, I don't know, they're about 6 inches. They were definitely an upgrade. I think we got 6 of them, which isn't enough, so I just ordered some new ones, which are even stronger than these. They're about the same, but they're like an inch or two longer to do some of the hacks that we're going to do to upgrade our tent. So I've heard that once you get up north into New England, these stakes don't work anymore, and you have to get these clips that go through the decking that you have to camp on a lot of times. That's what I've heard. So Z-Packs also sell those too. We'll worry about that another time. But for now, I think we got a pretty good start on our gear. We were going to go on a shakedown hike on Wednesday in Georgia, somewhere around Cooper Gap, back down to Springer or even Amicalola, but there's a hurricane coming, so we're not going to do that. But we plan on doing several shakedown hikes this fall, hopefully when the weather breaks and gets cooler. It's been pretty hot here. So we'll test all this gear out and see what we like, what we don't like. We'll probably maybe revise our gear list. Who knows? But for now, I think we're good.